name is Nye, you join me once again in the Finale Guitar Studio in Sheffield, and you're watching Folk Friend, your one-stop shop for Celtic backing guitar. Before we start, if you enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button down below. It helps me out because the YouTube algorithm likes it, and if you please the YouTube algorithm, it shows your video to more people. You can also hit the subscribe button to get my weekly tutorials straight to your inbox. It's all for free. Click that subscribe button, you'll get it all straight away first. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about DADGAD again, because I made a DADGAD video last time just showing you some simple chords. You can find that in the corner of the screen. And it got a good response. I've had lots of people messaging me since then saying, can you make more DADGAD videos? So yes, absolutely I can. One criticism that DADGAD sometimes gets levelled at it is that it's only really good for playing in keys related to D. That is not really true. There are lots of other things that you can do with DADGAD, and in this video I'm just going to quickly show you how you can sort of convert some of the shapes that I showed you in the previous video so that you can play in the key of G major and also other keys related to it like A dorian and E aeolian. Now before we start, when I say that G major is related to A dorian and E aeolian, if you don't know what I'm talking about by that, honestly it's one of the most useful things that you'll learn when you want to play Celtic music, and you can discover more about the modes, how they fit together and why certain chords go in them in one of my other videos, the complete guide to music theory for Celtic music, which is linked in the box down below and in a little card in the corner of the screen. So go check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about. If not, let's crack on. So in the key of G major, or G ionian, that's the same thing, there are 7 chords in total which we can use because there is one for each note of the scale. So we've got G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor and F sharp diminished, but we're going to find a way of using something else to avoid that one because folk music doesn't really like the sound of diminished chords. So your very first chord is going to use an ultra useful slidable DADGAD shape, which I also looked at in the first video, and that is this. Now with this shape, if you play it on the 5th fret, you've got a very nice open ringings kind of G major chord. And within this shape, the index finger defines whether it's a major or a minor shape. So if you take that index finger and you slide it down 1 fret, you get the minor version of whatever chord you're playing. So that is a kind of G minor. And that's G major. So that's going to be our first chord. The next chord that we want is A minor, and I'm going to show you 2 ways of playing this one. Either you can slide your G major chord up 2 frets and then move the index finger to the minor position, giving you A minor. Now that is an A minor with some extra notes in it because of the nature of the tuning, and I'm not going to talk about what those notes are, I'm just going to call it A minor. Another way of playing that same A minor chord is to play it down here instead. There are several options for this, but the one that I really like is this one, lovely A minor 7. So what I've done there is put my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string that's right in the middle of the guitar, and I've put my little finger on the 3rd fret of the A string that's near the top of the guitar. So that gives us A minor 7, a nice jazzy sounding A minor chord. If you want it to sound less jazzy, incidentally, you can add your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and that will make it A minor, just plain A minor. Again, it's got some extra notes in it, I'm not going to worry about them. The next chord we want is B minor. So one way of getting to B minor would be to take the shape that we had for A minor before and just slide it up 2 more frets. That's a perfectly valid B minor. Also a nice B minor that's easy to play and near the bottom of your guitar is this shape, where you play 2nd fret on the low A string and 2nd fret on the G string. I suggest you do that with your rock and roll fingers because then you can easily move to some other shapes that I'm going to show you. But of course if you wanted you could do it like that as well. For that one you miss off the bottom string and then that gives you B minor 7. Again, extra notes, yada yada. Next chord we're going to want for the G major chord scale is C major. So with our slidable shape, we could play it way up here with the root note on the 10th fret, and we put the index finger in the major shape position because it's a C major chord, not a C minor. So there's a C major option. Another option is down here, very easy, just 2 fingers. And then we are onto the 5 chord, which is D. D is about the easiest chord to play in DADGAD, of course, it's just 1 finger there. Another nice option for that D chord is to play what I call the 7 triangle. So you put your middle finger on the 5th fret of the A string, you put your index finger on the 4th fret of the D string, and you put your ring finger or 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the G string, and then you play all the strings, and that gives you a really nice beefy D7 chord, which I love, and you can kind of get the kind of James Brown sort of sound by going all that kind of thing. Hours of fun. Next chord, E minor. 2 options for this one. With this little triangular configuration here, the index finger once again has control of whether it is minor or not. So if it's in its current configuration, it gives you a 7 chord, and if you move that index finger back 1, it converts it into a minor 7 chord. So if you wanted to make E minor 7, you can take your triangle, squidge it up 2 frets, and move the index finger back 1, bah, and then you get a kind of nice E minor 7 chord. For that one, I recommend that you just push this middle finger up a little bit so that it mutes the bottom string. So it's not fretting the bottom string, it's just gently touching it so that the bottom string doesn't make a noise. Because you don't want a low D note in an E minor chord. It's going to overpower it with the wrong root note and it's not going to sound very good. So leave off the bottom string. And there's one option for E minor, which is a nice E minor 7 chord. The other option for that one is very easy. Rock and roll fingers, and you put them on the 2nd fret of the bottom 2 strings down here. That is our 6 main chords that we can have in G major. And the final one is F sharp diminished, strictly technically speaking. As I always say, folk music avoids diminished chords. The most common way of avoiding a diminished chord is by playing the 5th chord in the 1st inversion, which means that you take the notes that would be in a D chord, in this case, because D is the 5th chord, and then you play them, but with the 3rd note from that chord in the lowest pitch of the chord. So in the case of D major, which is chord 5, a D chord is D, F sharp and A, and I'm going to put an F sharp note, which is the 4th fret of the bottom string, on there using my 3rd finger, and then aside from that I'm just going to play like the D chord that we have used in this video and the previous DADGAD video. So there's D, and there it is with my extra finger on, and that is called D / F sharp, or some people call it D over F sharp. That just means that it's a D chord with the F sharp in the bass. And that is a really nice way that you can have an F sharp root note, but without having an F sharp diminished chord. What that is useful for then, now you've got the complete chord scale, you can use that to create ready-made chord progressions in G major by either going up or down the chord scale, and you'll find that both of those sound really nice. If you're actually using that in a tune, of course, you've got to remember that chord 4 bits have to have chord 4 chords on them, and chord 5 has to go on every 7th foot tap. And I've talked about this lots in all my other videos. Check out my picking chords by ears videos, which are linked in the corner of the screen right now, if you would like to learn more about that. Anyway, here's a little exercise you can do to practice actually using this G major chord scale. What you're going to do is the same as I did in the first DADGAD video I made. Play all the way up the chord scale using either set of shapes, and then play all the way down it. So here is going all the way up using just the slidey shape to start with. 1, 2, 3. 3, and G, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, we can do with the slidey shape on the 12th, E minor, lazy F sharp, and G. Then you do the whole thing in reverse. So G, F sharp substitute, E minor, D, C, B minor, A minor, and you're back to G. The other way that you can do that exercise is using the other shapes that I mentioned. So here it is with those. So G, A minor 7, B minor 7, C, D, E minor 7, F sharp diminished kind of, G, and then you go backwards, G, F sharp minor, E minor, D, C, B minor, A minor, G. So that's that. Those are the chords that go with G major in several different versions. I hope you found that useful. You can also find an accompanying blog for this lesson in the box down below, where there are all the diagrams which I've talked about, and you can print those out and do what you want with them. So go and have a look at that. If you'd like more free stuff like this, there are several ways you can get hold of all my tutorials as soon as they come out. One way is to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the little thumbs up as well if you enjoyed this video, because as I've said, it really helps me out. The other thing you can do is, if you go on the blog link that's in the box down below, you'll get a little pop-up that says join my mailing list. If you do that, you'll get the Folk Friend mail. It's normally roughly once a month or thereabouts. It tells you any news and updates, and it also gives you links to the latest videos as well. So go and sign up for that if you want more free tutorial videos, tabs and stuff like that from me. Next week I've got a brand new graphics card in the post, and so I'm going to be making some even more high-end, better edited videos with snazzy transitions and all that good stuff. And I'm going to be talking about my brand new invention, the Folk Friend Practice Diary, which is designed to streamline your practice and make your practice time much more efficient, enable you to hit your goals more swiftly. And it's got loads of useful tools in it as well, like monthly, weekly, quarterly reviews. It uses my revolutionary tablusic system, which means you can write down tunes a lot more quickly than you would be able to with sheet music. And it also has some useful stuff like all the mode shapes, some chord diagrams, all that kind of thing. Loads of good stuff in that. You can already check it out. It's linked in the card in the corner of the screen. It's available on Amazon. But I'll be talking about it in more detail next week. And if you're enjoying the DADGAD stuff, tune in for the Folky Fridays live stream. It's a free Irish guitar lesson which I run every week. This evening's topic is DADGAD. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about some interesting stuff you can do with this tuning. So tune in for that. It's at 5:30 PM UK time, and it's linked in the box down below. Thank you very much for watching. I am Nye, and I will see you in the next video next Friday.